The locker room door slammed shut, with a metallic echo that bounced off the concrete walls. Emma Rodriguez pressed her back against the cold metal lockers, her heart hammering so hard she could hear it over the dripping shower faucets. 5 shadows moved closer. Tyler Morrison cracked his knuckles, that same sick smile spreading across his face that he wore when he crushed smaller kids on the football field. "Where you gonna run now, Rodriguez?" Tyler's voice dripped with venom. His 4 teammates spread out like wolves circling prey. Derek on the left, Brandon on the right, Kyle and Connor blocking the only exit. Emma's fingers found the edge of her gym shirt, gripping tight. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting dancing shadows across Tyler's face. He reached out, grabbed her shirt collar, and pulled hard. The fabric tore with a sharp, ripping sound that seemed to echo forever. That's when everything changed. That's when 6 years of training took over. Emma's right hand shot up, grabbed Tyler's wrist, pivoted her hips, and locked his elbow in a perfect armbar. The football captain's scream pierced the air as his knees buckled. 3 seconds? That's all it took to drop the scariest bully in Westfield High. But let me back up. Let me tell you how a quiet girl who ate lunch alone ended up making 5 football players cry like babies in a gym locker room. Because what happened that Monday wasn't just about self-defense. It was about silence finally finding its voice. 2 weeks earlier, Emma had been invisible. That's how she liked it. Westfield High School sprawled across 40 acres of suburban Dallas real estate, home to 2,500 students who moved through the halls like schools of fish. Emma swam alone, keeping to the edges, clutching her books like armor. She'd perfected the art of disappearing. Head down, quick steps, no eye contact. In a school where football players were gods and cheerleaders were royalty, being invisible meant being safe. At least, that's what she thought. The first time Tyler Morrison noticed her was in AP Chemistry. Ms. Peterson had just assigned lab partners for the semester's biggest project, worth 30% of their grade. Emma ended up with Tyler purely by chance. The cruel lottery of alphabetical seating. "Lucky me," Tyler had muttered, sliding into the seat next to her. His cologne was too strong, mixing with the chemical smell of the lab. Got paired with the ghost girl. Emma didn't respond. She opened her notebook and started copying the assignment requirements in neat, precise handwriting. Her father had taught her that silence was often the best shield. But some shields attract hammers. "Hey, I'm talking to you." Tyler leaned closer. She could smell the protein shake on his breath. "You deaf or something?" "I can hear you," Emma said quietly, still writing. "We should divide the work. I'll take the first 3 sections if you handle—" "Yeah, about that." Tyler's hand slammed down on her notebook. "Here's how this is going to work. You do the whole thing. I put my name on it. We both get A's. Everyone's happy." Emma finally looked up. Tyler's gray eyes were cold, used to getting what he wanted. Behind him, his teammates Derek and Brandon watched with matching smirks. The rest of the class pretended not to notice, but Emma could feel their attention like static electricity in the air. "I can't do that," she said simply. The room went silent. Even Ms. Peterson stopped writing on the board. Tyler's face flushed red. "What did you say?" "I said, I can't do that. It's cheating." Someone in the back row actually gasped. Nobody said no to Tyler Morrison. His brother Marcus had been Westfield's star quarterback 3 years ago. Got a full ride to Texas A&M. Tyler was supposed to follow in his footsteps, But he was smaller, slower, riding on his last name and his crew's intimidation tactics. "Listen carefully," Tyler whispered, leaning so close she could count the acne scars on his jaw. "You're gonna do this project, or I'm gonna make your life hell. Understand?" Emma's hands stayed steady on her pen. Inside, her stomach churned, but her face remained calm. Another lesson from her father: never show fear to a predator. "I understand what you're saying," Emma replied, "but my answer is still no." Tyler's jaw clenched. His friends snickered nervously. The pretty girl always did the work. The quiet ones always caved. This wasn't following the script. "You'll regret this," Tyler said. Standing up so fast, his stool scraped against the floor. "I promise you that." He stormed back to his original seat. Emma returned to her notes, but her hands shook slightly now. She'd just painted a target on her back, and she knew it. That night, Emma pushed through the door of her empty house, the silence greeting her like an old friend. Her mother's scrubs hung on the kitchen chair. A note on the fridge: "Double shift at the hospital. Leftover pasta in microwave. Love you, Mija." Emma heated the pasta but couldn't eat. Tyler's threat echoed in her head. She wandered down to the basement, to the room she usually avoided. Her father's training space remained exactly as he'd left it 2 years ago. The blue mats still covered the floor. His Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt hung on the wall, frayed at the edges from years of use. "You're thinking too loud, Mija." The memory hit her like a physical force. Her father's voice, warm and patient, from when she was 10 years old. She'd been scared about starting middle school, worried about the bigger kids. "But what if they're stronger than me? Papa, come here." He'd led her onto the mats, his calloused hands gentle. "Strength isn't about muscles. It's about leverage, timing, intelligence. Let me show you something." He'd taught her the basic arm bar that night, made her practice until her little body moved without thinking. "This is for protection only," he'd said, his dark eyes serious. "Never to hurt, only to control. Promise me." "I promise, Papa." Now, standing in his empty training room, Emma touched the belt on the wall. He'd died 2 months after getting his 3rd degree. Heart attack at 42. The doctors said stress from his construction job. But Emma knew better. He'd been working 3 jobs to pay for her college fund. She stepped onto the mats, muscle memory taking over. Hip escape. Shrimp. Bridge, the movements flowed like water. 6 years of training flooding back. After he died. She'd kept going to Master Carlos's gym every Saturday, telling her mom it was a study group. It was the only place she still felt connected to her father. An hour later, sweat dripping, Emma finally felt calm. She didn't know that 3 blocks away, Tyler Morrison was in his garage with his crew, planning something that would change everything. "She embarrassed me," Tyler paced back and forth, his voice tight with rage. "In front of everyone. Nobody disrespects me like that." Derek, built like a refrigerator with legs, nodded eagerly. "What do you want us to do?" "We start small," Tyler said. "Build up. Break her down. By the time I'm done, she'll be begging to do my homework." Brandon, lean and mean with a boxer's nose, grinned. "Like we did with that kid Marcus last year." "Worse," Tyler said. His phone lit up with a text from his father, "Better not hear about any more trouble. Your brother never gave me problems." Tyler's hand tightened on the phone until his knuckles went white. Always Marcus. Always perfect Marcus, who could do no wrong. Well, Tyler would show them all he could handle his own problems. "We start tomorrow," he said. "Operation Ghost Girl begins at 700 hours. They all laughed, but it was sharp, cruel laughter, the kind that would have made Emma's father very worried indeed. The next morning, Emma knew something was wrong the moment she reached her locker. It was subtle. The lock turned a little too easily, like someone had been messing with it. She opened it carefully. Her textbooks were gone. In their place was a note, "Looking for these, check the dumpster out back. TM." Emma closed her locker quietly. Around her, students flowed past, lost in their own worlds. She had two choices: go dig through garbage for her books, or go to class without them and take the hit on participation points. She chose option 3 from her backpack. She pulled out the backup set of books she'd started carrying after her father taught her to always have a plan B. "The prepared fighter never loses," he used to say. "They might not win, but they never lose." In first period, Tyler's eyes widened when she pulled out her pristine textbook. Derek, sitting behind her, muttered something that sounded like, "How did she—" The harassment escalated like a symphony building to crescendo. Her gym clothes disappeared from her locker, honey in her backpack zipper, shoulder checks in the hallway that sent her spinning into walls, always when teachers weren't looking, always with plausible deniability. Emma endured it all with silent grace. But inside, something was building. Each shove, each accident, each cruel whisper added pressure to a valve that was starting to crack. Thursday night changed everything. Emma came home to find her mother's car in the driveway. Unusual for a weeknight. She rushed inside, worried something was wrong. "Mija," her mother said from the kitchen table, her face drawn with exhaustion. "Can you explain this?" On the table was a printed screenshot, an Instagram account with Emma's name, but not one she'd created. The profile picture was her school photo, but the posts? Emma's stomach dropped. Photoshopped images of her in compromising positions, captions full of racial slurs and propositions. "Mom, this isn't me. I don't even have Instagram." "I know, baby," her mother's voice cracked. "But the hospital board doesn't. Someone sent this to them. Anonymous email. They're questioning my judgment, saying if I can't raise my daughter right." Emma's hands clenched into fists. They'd gone after her mother who worked 16-hour shifts to keep them afloat, her mother who hadn't taken a day off since the funeral. "I'll fix this," Emma said quietly. "How?" Her mother looked so tired, so defeated. "These kids, their parents have lawyers. We have nothing." "We have the truth," Emma said, but even as she said it, she knew the truth was a luxury poor people couldn't always afford. That night, Emma didn't sleep. She sat at her father's desk, staring at his Marine Corps photo. He'd survived 2 tours in Afghanistan, only to die laying concrete in 100-degree Texas heat. He'd taught her to fight, but he'd also taught her when fighting was necessary. "Violence is the last resort," he'd said. "But when someone threatens your family, when they leave you no other choice, you don't fight to win, you fight to end it. Permanently." Friday morning. Emma walked into school different. Her usual hunched shoulders were straight. Her quick shuffle had become a measured stride. She wasn't hiding anymore. Tyler noticed immediately. Well, Ghost Girl's got some backbone today." Emma stopped, turned, looked him straight in the eye. "Take down the Instagram account." "Or what?" Tyler stepped closer, his crew flanking him. The hallway crowd parted, sensing blood in the water. "Or Monday gets very interesting," Emma said calmly. Tyler laughed, harsh and loud. "You threatening me, little ghost girl, thinks she's tough now." "Not a threat," Emma said. "A promise. You have all weekend to think about it." She turned and walked away, leaving Tyler standing there with his mouth open behind her. She heard Brandon whisper, "Dude, that was weird. She looked different." Tyler's response was predictable. "Monday, we end this. Gym class. Coach always disappears for his smoke break during inventory. We'll have 20 minutes. Emma heard every word. They thought she was walking away defeated. They didn't see the small smile on her face. They didn't know that Master Carlos had a special Saturday class tomorrow. They didn't know she'd been holding back for 2 years, playing weak, staying invisible. Monday was coming, and Emma Rodriguez was done being a ghost. The weekend passed in a blur of preparation. Emma spent Saturday at Master Carlos's gym, drilling takedowns and submissions until her muscles screamed. The old Brazilian watched her with knowing eyes. "You have that look," he said in accented English. "Same look your father had before deployment. Whatever's coming. You ready?" "I hope so," Emma said, working through an armbar transition. "No hope," Master Carlos corrected. "Only preparation and execution. You think your father hoped the enemy would miss? No. He trained until missing was their only option." Saturday night, Emma's mother worked another double shift. Emma used the time to prepare. She organized her evidence screenshots of the real Instagram account details, showing it was created from an IP address registered to Tyler's house. She'd learned basic digital forensics from YouTube, another skill her father would have been proud of, but she knew evidence might not matter. In a place like Westfield, money talked louder than truth. Tyler's father was a partner at Morrison, Baker, and Associates, the law firm that handled the school district's legal work. His mother was on the PTA board. They had power Emma's family could never match, unless she changed the game entirely. Sunday felt like the calm before a storm. Emma went to church with her mother, sitting in the same pew they'd shared with her father. The priest talked about David and Goliath, about how the smallest stone could fell the mightiest giant if thrown with righteousness. After service, old Mrs. Martinez grabbed Emma's hand. "I heard what those boys been doing," she whispered in Spanish. "You be careful, mija, but you also be strong. Your papa, he wouldn't want you to suffer in silence." Word had spread through their small Latino community. Emma realized she wasn't as alone as she'd thought. But Monday morning, walking into Westfield High, she'd never felt more isolated. The day crawled by like molasses. In every class, she felt eyes on her. Tyler's crew whispered and pointed. Other students gave her strange looks, like they knew something was coming but didn't know what. Chemistry class was tense. Tyler sat in his assigned seat, spinning his pencil and staring at Emma. When Ms. Peterson assigned worksheet problems, he leaned over. "Last chance," he whispered. "Do the project, or what happens next is on you." Emma didn't even look up from her paper. "No." "Your funeral," Tyler said, sitting back with a satisfied smile. The hours ticked by. English, history, lunch, where Emma sat alone as always, barely touching her food. Her stomach churned with anticipation and fear. She'd run through dozens of scenarios, but reality had a way of surprising you. Finally, 6th period, gym class. Emma changed into her PE clothes slowly, noting the other girls rushing out quickly. Sarah Chen lingered by her locker, fumbling with her phone. "You should go," Emma said quietly. Sarah looked up, startled. I'm sorry about everything. It's not right. What they're doing." "Then why don't you stop them?" "Because I'm scared," Sarah admitted. "We're all scared. Tyler's crew. They run this place. Last year, Marcus Whelan stood up to them. They broke his arm accidentally during flag football. Said he tripped." Emma nodded. She understood fear. She'd lived with it for 2 weeks, but fear was just another opponent. And her father had taught her how to handle opponents. Coach Martinez blew his whistle in the gym. "All right. Equipment inventory day, boys. You're counting basketballs in the main storage. Girls, volleyball equipment in the side room. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Emma watched him leave, probably heading to his car for a smoke. 20 minutes. Tyler had planned this perfectly. The girls filed into the side storage room. Emma was last, and as she entered, she heard the door click behind her. The other girls were already gone, disappeared through the connecting door to the main gym. She was alone. No, not alone. Footsteps echoed on the concrete floor. 1 set, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tyler appeared first, blocking the exit. His crew spread out behind him, forming a semicircle. The storage room was narrow, lined with equipment racks. No windows. One door, no escape. "Told you Monday would be interesting," Tyler said, cracking his knuckles again. That sound, like breaking bones, echoed off the walls. Emma set down her water bottle carefully. Her heart rate was elevated but controlled. Fear tried to claw up her throat, but she breathed through it, just like her father taught her. 5 against 1, she said calmly. "Your brother would be proud." Tyler's face darkened. "Don't talk about Marcus." "Why not? He's all anyone talks about. Tyler's older brother, the star. Tyler's older brother, the scholarship winner. Tyler's older brother, who never needed 4 backup dancers to deal with 1 girl." "Shut up!" Tyler stepped forward, fists clenched. Emma shifted her weight slightly, imperceptible to untrained eyes, but her body was coiling, preparing. 6 years of muscle memory loading like a spring. "You know what the difference is between you and Marcus," Emma continued, her voice steady. "He was actually strong. You're just scared." Tyler lunged. It happened fast. His hand shot out, grabbed her shirt collar, pulled hard. The fabric tore with that distinctive ripping sound. For a split second, Emma felt the cool air on her skin, felt the vulnerability, the exposure. Then the years of training took over. Her right hand clamped onto Tyler's wrist like a vice. Her left hand shot to his elbow. She pivoted, using his momentum against him. And suddenly, Tyler was airborne. He hit the ground hard. And before he could process what happened, Emma had his arm extended, her legs wrapped around it, applying pressure to the elbow joint. "Ah!" Tyler's scream was high, pained, nothing like the tough guy image he projected. 3 seconds, that's all it had taken. "Let him go!" Derek charged forward, all 220 pounds of him barreling down like a freight train. Emma released Tyler and rolled backward, coming up in a crouch. Derek swung a haymaker that would have knocked out a horse. Emma ducked under it, grabbed his extended arm, and used a classic judo throw. Derek's own momentum flipped him head over heels. He landed flat on his back. The wind knocked out of him, gasping like a fish out of water. Brandon and Kyle came at her together, trying to use numbers. Emma's mind went calm, analytical. Distance, angles, timing. Everything her father had drilled into her. Brandon threw a jab. Emma slipped it, caught his arm, stepped behind him, and locked in a standing rear naked choke. Not to knock him out, just to control. Kyle tried to grab her from behind, but she used Brandon as a shield, pivoting so Kyle's grab caught his own teammate. "Get off me!" Brandon yelled at Kyle. In the confusion, Emma released Brandon with a push that sent him stumbling into Kyle. Both boys tripped over Derek, who was still trying to catch his breath. The pile of football players looked almost comical, like a Three Stooges routine, except for the very real fear in their eyes. Connor, the fifth boy, stood frozen by the door. His hands were raised, but not in fists, in surrender. I can't," Connor stammered. "This is wrong. This is all wrong." Tyler struggled to his feet, holding his arm. His face was red, twisted with pain and humiliation. Tears streamed down his cheeks. "Get her!" he screamed at Connor. "What are you waiting for?" "No," Connor said, backing toward the door. "I'm done. This isn't what... My sister? Man, they did this to my sister last year. I can't." That's when Emma noticed something. A small movement in the door crack, a phone camera, recording everything. Sarah Chen hadn't left after all. The remaining four boys regrouped, but the dynamic had shifted. They'd come in as predators. Now they looked like what they really were, scared teenage boys who'd bitten off more than they could chew. "You broke my arm," Tyler cried, cradling his elbow. "It's not broken," Emma said calmly. "Just hyperextended. Ice it for 24 hours. You'll be fine for Friday's game." "How do you? What are you?" Derek wheezed from the floor. Emma picked up her torn shirt, holding it closed with one hand. The adrenaline was starting to fade, and she became aware of how exposed she was, how vulnerable. But she didn't show it. Couldn't show it. "I'm the girl who said no," Emma replied. "And I'm done being afraid of you." Tyler's face cycled through emotions, pain, rage, humiliation, and finally, something that looked like genuine fear. "My dad's gonna sue you. He's gonna destroy your whole family. You're done in this town." "Maybe," Emma said. "But right now, you're the one on the ground crying. So maybe think about that before you threaten me again." A siren wailed in the distance, growing closer. Someone had called the police. Emma wondered if it was Sarah, or someone else who'd heard the screaming. The door burst open, but it wasn't the police. It was Principal Williams, followed by 2 security guards. His face went from stern to shocked as he took in the scene 5 football players in various states of distress, and one small girl holding her torn shirt closed. "What in the hell is going on here?" Tyler, still crying, pointed at Emma with his good arm. "She attacked us. She went crazy. We were just talking and she—" "Stop!" Principal Williams held up his hand. His eyes found the security camera in the corner of the storage room, the red light blinking steadily. "Everyone stays exactly where they are. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks until the police arrive." Emma felt a strange calm settle over her. Whatever happened next, she'd stood up. She'd fought back. For the first time in 2 weeks, she didn't feel like a ghost. But as Tyler's words sank in lawsuit, destruction, finished She wondered if winning this battle meant losing everything else. Her mother's job, their house, their life in Westfield. The sirens grew louder, and Emma closed her eyes, seeing her father's face. "You did good, mija," she could almost hear him say. "Now comes the hard part." The door opened again. This time, it was the police. The police officers entered like storm clouds, their radios crackling with static. Officer Daniels, a black woman with sharp eyes, surveyed the scene while her partner, Officer Martinez, checked on the boys. "Nobody moves," Officer Daniels commanded. "Someone want to explain why we got 3 different 911 calls about an assault?" Tyler's tears had stopped, replaced by calculated anger. "She attacked us. Used some kind of martial arts. I want her arrested for assault." Emma stood perfectly still, her torn shirt clutched in one hand. She knew better than to speak first. Her father had taught her about police interactions, about staying calm, keeping hands visible. "Is that what happened?" Officer Daniels asked, looking at the other boys. Derek and Brandon nodded quickly, but Kyle looked away. Connor, still by the door, shook his head slowly. "That's not true," Connor said quietly. "We came in here to mess with her." Tyler grabbed her shirt first. "Shut up, Connor," Tyler snarled. Principal Williams stepped forward. "Officers, we have security footage. I suggest we review it before making any statements." "Smart man," Officer Daniels said. She looked at Emma. "You need medical attention." "No, ma'am," Emma replied. "But I'd like to call my mother." "Absolutely. And someone get this young lady something to wear." Sarah Chen appeared in the doorway, holding a Westfield High hoodie. She handed it to Emma without making eye contact. But Emma caught her small nod, a silent acknowledgement. 20 minutes later, they were in Principal Williams's office. The security footage played on his computer screen. Grainy, but clear enough. 5 boys entering. The confrontation. Tyler grabbing Emma's shirt. The rip. Then Emma's lightning-fast response. "Self-defense," Officer Daniels said simply. Clear as day. The door burst open. Richard Morrison strode in, 6 feet 4 inches of expensive suit and barely contained rage. Tyler's father looked exactly like an older, meaner version of his son. "Nobody speaks to my son without my presence," he declared. "I want that girl arrested immediately." "Sir, you need to calm down," Officer Martinez said. "Don't tell me to calm down." Richard's face was red. "That little—" he caught himself, aware of the recording devices. "That girl assaulted 5 boys. I don't care what some grainy footage shows." "Actually," a quiet voice said from the doorway, "I have HD footage." Everyone turned. Sarah Chen stood there, phone in hand. "I recorded everything, with audio." The room went silent. Richard Morrison's jaw clenched so hard Emma could hear his teeth grinding. "Play it," Principal Williams said. Sarah's video was crystal clear, every word audible. Tyler's threats, his grab, Emma's defensive response. But most damning was what came after the fight. "My dad's gonna sue you. He's gonna destroy your whole family. You're done in this town." Richard Morrison's face went from red to white. That's edited. Deepfake. My firm will prove it." "Mr. Morrison," Principal Williams said calmly, "I think you should see something else." He pulled out a folder, thick with papers. 12 complaints. 12 different students over the past 2 years, all alleging harassment by your son and his friends. Know why nothing was done? Because every time you threatened legal action. Well, not anymore. Emma's mother arrived then, still in her scrubs, face etched with worry. Mija, are you hurt? I'm okay, Mom, Emma said, accepting her embrace. Richard Morrison looked at them with undisguised contempt. Maria Rodriguez, I know you, hospital custodial staff, right? Let me make this simple. Drop any complaints. Sign a non-disclosure agreement. And this goes away. Otherwise, I'll make sure you never work in this city again. You threatening my mother? Emma asked, stepping forward. It's not a threat, Richard said coldly. It's reality. I own this town. No, a new voice said. You don't. Tyler's mother, Linda Morrison, stood in the doorway, designer dress, perfect hair, but her eyes were steel. Richard, enough. Linda, what are you doing here? What I should have done years ago. She looked at her son, then at Emma. I'm sorry for all of it. Tyler learned this behavior somewhere, and I let it happen. Mom, Tyler's voice cracked. Linda pulled out her phone, scrolling. Interesting text messages between you and your friends. Tyler, planning this attack, discussing the fake Instagram account. Oh, and these emails between you and your father about handling problems. Richard's face went purple. Those are private family communications. Not anymore, Linda said. I've already sent copies to the school board and the police and the Dallas Morning News. The room erupted. Richard shouting about attorney-client privilege. Tyler crying about betrayal. Principal Williams calling for order. Through it all, Emma stood quiet, watching a family destroy itself. By evening, the story had exploded. Sarah's video went viral on TikTok. The hashtag #WestfieldWarrior trended nationally. News vans lined up outside the school. Emma's phone, which usually stayed silent, buzzed non-stop with messages of support. But she felt numb in her bedroom. She sat on the floor, knees pulled to her chest. The adrenaline had worn off, leaving only exhaustion and a creeping sense of dread. Mija, her mother knocked softly. There's someone here to see you. Master Carlos entered, his weathered face full of concern. I heard what happened. You did good. Emma, your father would be proud. Would he? Emma's voice broke. I hurt those boys. I used what he taught me to hurt people. No, Master Carlos said firmly, sitting beside her. You used what he taught you to protect yourself. There's a difference. Those boys, they came to hurt you. You stopped them. Nothing more. Tyler's right about one thing, Emma said. His father will come after us. We don't have money for lawyers. You have something better, Master Carlos said. Community. He was right. Over the next days, support poured in. The Latino Community Center offered free legal aid. Local businesses donated to a defense fund. Parents, who'd been too scared to speak up, came forward with their own stories about Tyler and his crew. The school board called an emergency meeting. The auditorium was packed. Standing room only. Emma sat in the front row, trying to shrink into her seat as hundreds of eyes watched her. Tyler's expulsion hearing was first. Richard Morrison had assembled a team of lawyers. But their polished arguments crumbled against the evidence. 12 complaints, security footage, Sarah's video, text messages planning the attack. When Tyler took the stand, he looked smaller somehow. The swagger was gone. replaced by something hollow. "I just wanted to be like Marcus," he said quietly. "Everyone loved him. Dad was proud of him. I thought if I was tough like him—" "But Marcus wasn't a bully," Principal Williams pointed out. "I know that now," Tyler whispered. "I got confused. Being feared isn't the same as being respected." The vote was unanimous. Expulsion. Derek, Brandon, Kyle, and even Connor faced suspension. Connor's was lightest, 2 weeks recognition that he'd tried to stop it. The aftermath rippled through Westfield High like an earthquake. The power structure that had existed for years crumbled overnight. Kids who'd been victims found their voices. The football team lost 5 players and their winning streak. Emma became something she'd never wanted to be famous. Everyone knew her name, her story, her face. She couldn't disappear anymore. The nightmares started a week later. She'd wake up gasping, feeling Tyler's hand on her shirt, the fabric tearing. Her mother found her one night on the bathroom floor, sobbing. "I can still feel it," Emma cried. "The grabbing, the ripping. I can't make it stop." Her mother held her, rocking gently. "We'll get you help, Mija, a counselor, someone who understands trauma." "I thought I was strong," Emma whispered. "Papa always said I was strong." "You are strong," her mother said fiercely. "Strong enough to fight back, strong enough to ask for help. Both things take courage." The counseling helped, slowly. Dr. Patel specialized in trauma, particularly for young women. She helped Emma understand that strength wasn't about being unaffected, it was about healing. Meanwhile, Westfield High was changing. Sarah Chen started a documentary project about bullying culture. Her interviews with former victims revealed years of systematic harassment that everyone had ignored. "We all knew," one senior admitted on camera. "We just thought it was normal. Like, that's just how high school is." You know, Emma's story had shattered that illusion. Principal Williams implemented new policies, mandatory respect training, anonymous reporting systems, zero tolerance for harassment. The biggest surprise came when 53 girls signed up for a new after-school program, Women's Self-Defense, taught by Master Carlos with Emma as his assistant. "I don't want to be a victim," one freshman said during the first class. "I want to be like Emma, not violent, but ready." Emma taught them what her father had taught her: control, discipline, confidence, but also when to ask for help, when to speak up, when fighting wasn't the answer. 3 months passed. The news crews left. The viral videos faded. Life found a new rhythm. Emma could walk the halls without whispers following her, though she was never invisible again. Tyler's family imploded spectacularly. The divorce was messy and public. Richard Morrison lost several major clients who didn't want association with the scandal. He moved to Houston, still threatening lawsuits that never materialized. Tyler himself vanished from social media. Rumors said military school, others said therapy program. Emma tried not to think about him, but sometimes, in quiet moments, she wondered if he was healing too. Then came a Tuesday in April. Emma was teaching the self-defense class, demonstrating an escape technique. When the gym door opened, everyone froze. Tyler Morrison stood in the doorway, but he looked different. The bulk was gone, no more steroid-inflated muscles. His eyes weren't cold anymore, just tired, sad. "I'm sorry," he said simply. "I know that's not enough. I know words don't fix what I did, but I needed to say it." The room held its breath. Emma felt every eye on her, waiting for her response. The old Emma would have stayed silent, but she wasn't that girl anymore. "Why now?" she asked. Tyler pulled out a folded check. "This is $10,000 for the self-defense program. It's not forgiveness money. I don't expect that. It's just, I want something good to come from all the bad I did." "That's your dad's money," Emma said. "No," Tyler said. "I've been working construction. 12-hour days, earned every cent. Turns out, when you're not spending all your time making others miserable, you can actually accomplish things." He set the check on the front desk and turned to leave, then paused. "My therapist says trauma creates cycles. My dad bullied me, so I bullied others. But cycles can be broken. You broke yours. Maybe I can break mine too." After he left, the gym stayed silent for long moments. Then one girl asked, "What do we do with the money?" Emma looked at the check, then at her students. "We vote. This is your program too." The vote was unanimous. They'd take the money, use it for equipment, scholarships for girls who couldn't afford classes, turn something painful into something powerful. That night, Emma stood in her father's training room. His belt still hung on the wall, but now it was surrounded by photos. Her students, their smiling faces after mastering a technique, their confident stances. "I kept my promise. Papa," she whispered, "never to hurt, only to control. But you taught me something else too. Sometimes the greatest control is knowing when to let go, when to forgive, not for them, but for yourself." Her mother appeared in the doorway. "There's someone on the phone for you. Says she's a producer from ESPN. Something about a documentary feature." Emma smiled. "Tell her I'll call back, right now. I have homework to finish." Because that was the truth nobody talked about in viral videos. After the cameras left, after the hashtags faded, life went on. Emma Rodriguez was many things now: survivor, fighter, teacher. But first and always, she was still just a 16-year-old girl, trying to navigate high school. The difference was, she wasn't navigating it alone anymore. She wasn't invisible. She wasn't a ghost. She was exactly who her father had always believed she could be: strong enough to fight, wise enough to know when not to, and brave enough to help others find their own strength. The torn shirt from that day hung in her closet, a reminder, not of trauma, but of transformation. Sometimes we don't choose our battles, sometimes they choose us. But we always choose what happens next. And Emma Rodriguez had chosen to rise.